All right, hello and welcome to the weather report. Windy, breezy night. I just took this quick. This is why you don't use phones with that. This picture doesn't look good at all, but you can see how the flag is moving from that stiff easterly wind that we got. So let's actually, one thing I forgot to do. All right. Yeah, I figured out how to not show that screen anymore, but I don't know how to pause it. So anyway, let's get to this weather report. Obviously, we got some rain in the area and a lot going on, so I'm trying to figure. Well, whatever. You can see the rain. The rain has arrived. Luckily, it wasn't too heavy. It's going to be starting to get heavier later tonight. We'll look at the radar, which I forgot to put on the screen as well. You understand what I'm going through. My mind can't remember all this stuff. But anyway, you can see some really heavy rain there over northern Jersey, and we're going to get into that heavy rain a little bit later, right? It's been light, but it's starting to pick up now. And this is all due to a low pressure system that is approaching our area and will move over us. But before we do that, let's talk about yesterday's weather. Yesterday was a pretty chilly day. We had a lot of that cirrus around, though. A lot of that cirrus around yesterday. It's a pretty junky looking sky, actually. So anyway, you can see here for the highs yesterday, we only had highs. And again, we had such nice air at the surface, but there was so much moisture aloft. But you can see the highs yesterday. We had the highs around 40 on Long Island. Some areas not making it out of the 30s. And then as you make your way down into central New Jersey, into southern New Jersey, you see some mid 40s there. And the lows, this was yesterday. West Hampton got down to 16. That was a low as of midnight. And most of these temperatures were as of midnight, mid 20s around. So anyway, let's go take a look at what we got going on outside right now. Not a whole lot going on across the country, though. We do have some winter weather threats for the mountains of California and lake effect events for the lake. You can see lake effect snow warning will be in effect for the lee of the Great Lakes. That is starting. That is finally starting. We're starting to see that lake effect snow develop. But as far as what we got currently going on out there right now, temperatures have risen quite a bit compared to where they were. So let's look at Islip right now. It's 52 degrees. The dew point is 50, so the air is getting warmer and more moist. And you're definitely seeing those temperatures rise, considering where we were yet last night. So if you look at last night, you can see the 20s from much of last night. And the clouds didn't really come in until a little bit after sunrise. The morning was pretty chilly, and then during the day, you can see the temperature steadily rising with the east-southwest easterly onshore winds that came into the area. We'll look at West Hampton as well because that's the cold spot, 52 right now. Got some drizzle being reported, light rain. There was some heavier rain in there. You can see some pretty strong wind gusts, too, 32-mile-an-hour wind gusts there from the east. Unbelievable. Wow. Unbelievable. Let's see how cold it was this morning. It looks like it got down. Yeah, it got down. It didn't really get any colder than that 16 that we saw, I think. So we'll look at the highs and the lows on the map for today. So highs for today, 52, and you can see definitely warmer. And those are the current temperatures, mid-50s in Ocean County. And looking at the lows, yeah, 16 was the low at West Hampton, 18. If it wasn't for those clouds coming in, we probably could have made it even colder than that. But teens, definitely pretty chilly there. And 21 at Brookhaven Airport, 25 at Islip, MacArthur, and really Ronkonkoma, 27 at Farmingdale. So mid-20s, more or less the lows in most places. But the Pine Barrens, some of those colder areas, including East Hampton Airport there, got down to 18. Not quite as cold in Jersey. They only had mid-20s, probably. I say only, but that's probably because of the clouds that came in. You'll notice we've got those small craft advisories and even a gale warning for some of the waters offshore. As we see these winds, again, pick up, if we look at the current station plots, you'll see got some wind gusts there. 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts now at Farmingdale. We don't have more power outages again. 32 wind gust at Bresky Airport. All right. So, yeah, those are the kind of conditions we're dealing with right now. So let's go to the local past weather, and we'll go over Islip. So we'll talk about yesterday first. And yesterday, the high was only 40. Normal high was 50. That's 10 degrees below normal. The low of 29, which, again, they take their observations before midnight. That was 6 degrees below normal, and so we were 8 degrees below normal for the day. Looking at today, it's showing a high of 40. That's interesting that it's 40. No, hold on. No, here's the high. Was I looking at the right one? I was not looking at the right one. Please forgive me. All right. Again, I'm sorry I'm making so many mistakes. It's just too much going on. 40 degrees was the high yesterday. 50 degrees is the normal, so 10 degrees below normal. I knew that didn't sound right. The low of 24 was 11 degrees below normal. And we're talking about yesterday now. And so the average of 32 was 11 degrees below normal. So we're about 11 degrees below normal there. All right, now getting on to today, the maximum temperature was 50 degrees. That's right at normal, so that's the normal high for this time of the year. However, the low of 24 was 11 degrees below normal, so that put us still about 5 degrees below normal at islip. So pretty chilly conditions that we were dealing with, and it's going to get cold again too. So anyway. Again, we have this cold front coming through, so we're going to actually start with the surface here, and then we'll get into the longer range here. So you can see there's our storm system. That moves away. It's going to give us some heavy rain, and then we will have improving conditions after that. So let's go look at the HRRR. Again, we're starting with the surface first, because this is where we got all the rain coming. So here we go. Looking at tonight, you'll see that heavier rain come in here. Now, the HRRR seems to think that the heavier rain might wind up, and it looks like the radar is showing that heavier rain might actually wind up going more over New Jersey, and we won't get really into the heavy rain tonight. And then once that's over, before sunrise, it's done. That's it. So, and I'm leaning into that HRRR scenario. So you can see the heavier rain amounts of maybe an inch or more only going to be over New Jersey, and we may only get a quarter of an inch to a half an inch. So it doesn't look as heavy as originally predicted. This all kind of backs it up when you look at this radar and you see the really heavy rain over New Jersey. This is all moving southwest and northeast. That a lot of the heavier rain is going to miss us. So I tend to agree with that. All right. So either way, we go back to the GFS and see the GFS also showing that trend as well. But behind this is going to be some very cold air. You can see that high coming right down there, bringing us some really cold northwest flow. However, with that northwest flow over the lakes, we may have trouble actually getting clear skies, even with all that. And then our next chance of rain wouldn't be until Friday night to Saturday morning. And then another high pressure would build in for next weekend. And then here comes the next chance for rain, which would be December 4th and December 5th. All right, but you can see definitely troughs and cold air coming in by looking at this. All right. So now we'll go to the upper air. And again, I'm not really going to spend too much time with it tonight because we got this system that we're watching that's hitting us right now. So you can see here, there's that trough that's going to bring in the cool air. You can see the trough, but it's not a really steep trough. It doesn't go that far. So that's the problem. And then we have the ridge. We have like a zonal flow into the weekend. And then maybe another trough. And that looks like a bigger trough around December 7th. That looks like a nice one. That's the kind of trough we want. That's going to bring in some really nice cold air there around December 9th. That is a good-looking trough right there. All right. Looking at the 500 MB height anomaly. We'll look at this as well. You can see our trough. There it is. Pretty deep. Pretty deep. And there's going to be some pretty cold air with that as well. And then we have a little bit of ridging, so we have moderation in temperatures on the weekend, and then more cold weather again as we get into December. This is at least what the GFS is showing long range. We can look at the European as well. See what the European is showing here. It's not really going to go that far. Has a similar look. Trough's a little different at the end. I'm not going to show the jet stream, but let's go now to the surface levels, and we will go back to the surface and show you the European of the surface model here. So there's that system, pulls away, the cold air comes in, and then we see that moderation, and then not quite as much of a cold air mass for next weekend, and then behind that, another shot of cold air as you get this summer. So looking at your temperature anomaly charts, I think they'll both look pretty identical here. So here we go. This is what it's looking like tonight on the Euro. See, there's that really deep blue and purple. That's the cold air. Part of that's going to probably move over Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we start seeing a little moderation on Thursday, and then we go above normal on Friday, and then the weekend will probably be near normal for the next shot. The Euro is not really showing that much cold air there. We'll go to the GFS here and look at this and see how this shows. So here's the GFS, and you can see there's that cold weather there that's coming in here. Here's Tuesday especially. It looks like Tuesday is going to be the heart of it, Tuesday into Wednesday. Then we warm up, not quite as cold on the weekend. And then as we get toward that other trough, that would bring in some more colder air as well. We'd be below normal as well, though maybe not quite as much as this. So let's go to the local view here. And we will go back to our local view, and we will go back to the HRRR, and we will look at our temperatures and show you what's going to be happening to our temperatures and our dew points and wind flow. So a little bit of moisture tonight moving in. Tomorrow, the west winds take over. The dew points drop. But you won't really see the dew points really drop until you get to a Tuesday, and that's when you see it's a real shot of dry air. Again, we get some of that moisture from the lakes that's kind of coming over us, so it's not. It looks dry, but it's enough to maybe have clouds be a problem. Looking at our temperatures, so we'll rise tonight possibly into the mid-50s, maybe even upper 50s, just before sunrise, and then the temperatures drop during the day tomorrow a little bit. They'll be in the upper 40s probably. And then we'll get colder later on at night. We'll have the temperatures drop below freezing by Tuesday morning to the upper 20s. And then for Tuesday, we're going to struggle to make it out of the mid-30s. It's going to be very, very cold on Tuesday. All right. GFS showing a similar type of deal here. All right. Very, very cold. All right. And you'll see this is the GFS here. This is Tuesday. Dew points and wind flow still staying in that dry air for Wednesday. Winds go a little more west-southwest. Then we see the moderation Thursday. And then there's that shot of, more average air for next weekend. So temperatures, again, the GFS will move this into 30s. Wednesday, it's still going to be struggling to make it out of the mid-30s. And then as we get into Friday, this is when you're going to start seeing the upper 40s to around 50. Developed. Thursday, and then especially by Friday, temperatures shoot up into the 50s, and then we'll be back around average, which will be upper 40s for the weekend, mid to upper 40s for the weekend. Then going above normal again Monday, and then Tuesday, and then we drop it again behind that next cold front again, where we could have even colder weather. It's showing even colder weather for that next cold front. It wouldn't surprise me. Hopefully that flow will be right out of the north, and hopefully you won't have the lake effect moisture. So here's the deal with the lake effect moisture problem. So first we'll go to the HRRR. Go back to the HRRR here. 0Z run, and I will show you 16Z, which is right around midday. So I'll show you the problem we have. So if you look at our sounding here, you see that we have nice dry air above 700, but at the surface, you see those dew points are kind of close to each other, and that's going to lead to cloud formation. We're talking about tomorrow now, all right? And that's why tomorrow we'll have, I think, a decent amount of clouds around, even though they say mostly sunny. I think there'll be a decent amount of clouds around with all that moisture around. Now, once the cold front passes, here's Tuesday. And let's see. Yeah, see the problem we have? So, again, aloft looks good, but look at the surface. For all this moisture at the surface, that's going to cause a cloud deck, stratocumulus cloud deck. This is, again, midday. Interesting enough, I put over Jersey there a little further apart. So maybe if you're further to the south and west, you won't have to deal with this. This is all because of the lake effect. We don't see the snow, but we get the clouds, and we have warmer lakes than normal. So the lake effect snows are worse, and therefore more clouds. Just another one of the wonderful things we get to deal with as a result of climate change. So let's go to the next Wednesday. I'm kind of showing the soundings. Now, Wednesday, we have more of an issue with the upper levels. So trying to get a clear sky this week, even with all this cold air, is not going to be that easy. And then as you get to Thursday, you start seeing the upper level moisture come in, and the contrails and that crap. So that's the problem we have. So now, I show you more of the soundings now to explain to you why we may have those clouds around. So here's tomorrow, and you can see it doesn't look that bad, but and there will be breaks of sun. I'm not saying it's gonna be an overcast day, but I think partly sunny is gonna be more like it. And now for Tuesday, we could start off mostly sunny, and then have these clouds develop. And it all depends. It's possible that if you're further south and west, you may not have as many of these clouds around. And Wednesday, we have these other clouds coming. These are more like high-level clouds. And then Thursday, yeah, we may have enough of a break here. But then after that, we're kind of stuck in the clouds again. And I don't know if the weekend's going to be clear. So trying to get a clear day. Thanksgiving was a perfect day, but again, it was Thanksgiving. So trying to get a clear day is very, very hard. So here we go. We're looking at the RGM now, which is my model of choice for the clouds. You see, yeah, it's not really showing too much in the way of clouds, but there could definitely be more clouds than this for tomorrow. And then as we get into Tuesday, it all depends how this all sets up. I think we may start off clear, but then I think as you get toward the afternoon, you're going to have some more of those stratocumulus. But again, if you're further enough south, maybe you'll get into that break of clear sky. Maybe. Here's Wednesday, showing again that cirrus that could be a problem. So we'll have to see what happens if we're going to get any clear. You know, when I was younger, we had a cold front come through. We'd always have beautiful clear skies, but now it doesn't happen as much because we have warmer than normal bodies of water, which are causing more moisture in the air, which are causing more clouds to form. So that's another part of climate change. So anyway, here's our, I don't like this at all. So here's the 8 to 14 day, and it's showing the whole country above normal. I don't like that at all. Here's the 6 to 10 day, where it has us way above normal. Really? Even with this plunge coming in? But I guess it has us shooting up. So they're going with the Euro. They think it's going to be warmer than normal for the first week of December. I hope not. Man, I want some cold weather, but I know. Well, sorry, you're dealing with climate change. It's hard to get cold weather now. This is a wonderful. You can thank a big oversized pickup truck. And no, buying a Tesla isn't going to solve it either. You know, we need to actively take carbon out of the air is what we need to do. But that's a whole nother subject and a whole nother video. Like I say, we need to actively we need to actively mitigate the climate change right now. You know, actively mitigate, which means geoengineering our way out of this. But unfortunately, people just don't take it seriously enough for us to really do that. And it'll cost billions or trillions, but it's worth it to save the planet. But anyway, I digress. So, yeah, I don't like the way this looks at all, basically. I don't want to see above normal. That's going to be more junky skies again. You know, and it should be out in the pines hiking under nice clear blue skies and crisp. You know, it's just too much to ask for to get decent weather. It really is. But yeah, this kind of sucks. This really does suck. I hope they're wrong about this outlook, because the GFS was looking promising, but they don't use the GFS for whatever reason. They just don't want to use it. So anyway, that's going to wrap up this weather report. Sorry it was a little sloppy. Weather report for the week of November 26th. But enjoy the cold weather this week, because unfortunately, if the CPC is right, we're going to be dealing with more above normal crap next week. So have a good night.